Crazy Train Guy presents an Okanagan Valley Railway production, another episode of How Did He Do That? As the Kootenai Express crosses over my drop section on my train layout, it then approaches an underpass. You'll notice there that there's a road and some cable and post guardrail. In this video, I'll show you how I made those. While the posts and cable guardrails were very common in the 70s, they're virtually non-existent today. And since I'm modeling that era, I decided I would put them on my layout. The highway through the Haines area is in sore need of a guardrail, so I'll show you how I made these guardrails in this scene. For materials, I'm going to use skewer sticks for the posts, fishing line for the cable, clippers to cut the posts, a couple paint brushes, silver paint for the cable, white paint for the posts, a file to sand down or even out the edges on the posts. After getting a helpful hint from my wife, I thought this over a bit, and originally, instead of cutting them up into little lengths, first, why not stick the full skewer into a fluorofoam thing and then paint the whole thing and then cut it? Wouldn't that be easier? Next up is to paint the fishing line and to paint it silver to match the color of the cable. As you can see, I picked a rather messy method of painting it. I had 30 inches to paint. So another suggestion here would be to somehow fasten it, tie off two ends on maybe two nails, and then paint it that way. Now it's time to string up the cable along the posts. So I started by doing the post at each end on a 30-inch piece of foam that I had, and those two posts are extra long, using the skewer ends to put them into the foam. And then you can see the red dots every 1.5 inches where the other posts are going to eventually go. And then basically what I did is I used hot glue, and I hot glued the one end and I strung it across the other end. I left in my gaffs here because I wanted to show you don't always get the first try. As you can see in this video, it takes me about 3 attempts to get it. Once you get the top cable done, I then do the second cable, which is about halfway down the posts. The final thing is to put the posts in the middle, stick them into the foam, and then hot glue each one along the way. The less messy alternative, you could use super glue or CA glue. Just watch your fingers. Here's basically the finished product. The posts are done, the cables are done, and it's all set now to put it onto my spot on the layout that I've chosen where I want to have the guardrail situated. Now I carefully pick up the entire section and I push them into the foam scenery. As I mentioned before, I've got longer ends. One has the skewer on the end, put it in the one by the wall and the one at the other end. And then what I gotta do after that is I'm gonna have to glue each and every one of the other ones down. I used white glue to glue down the remaining posts. Now it does take a while for it to dry, and it's a bit finicky. And as you can see, it's not a car accident on the road, but those are cars I used to either prop up the post or hold the post down. Once again, you may want to look at using CA glue as an alternative. Here's a picture of the final product. And if I do say so myself, it came out quite nice. The motorists in HO scale will no longer risk serious injury plunging down the embankment. So if you like what you see, give it a try. It's a fairly simple project. It only took me an afternoon to complete this portion. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw and wish to see more content on model trains and real trains, please subscribe to my channel.